The 2 seed out east isn't over yet. What a game we had at the Mecca last night between the Celtics and the Knicks. Oh, Deuce, my favorite. Is it a sour candy? Is it gum?
It's so sour.
I love it. I love it so much. It's all right, buddy. You can get through it. Truly. There's Pops, Tatum. Back to the scene of the drama. Not tonight. Look at that. Tatum for 3. Easy does it. Just putting up for MSG and for
you got
Gus.
Mitchell Robinson on him.
Truly.
He's going to have to do that.
He has to do something.
I mean, Mitchell tried, but...
But alas. Look at Juice. Loving it. All right, the Knicks fighting back, of course.
Ooh.
A tight game the whole night. Come on, Cat.
Behind the back.
I want that Chanel beanie that Fat Joe has. And now we're tied at 101. We're in the 4th quarter. All right, Captain. Brunson with the jumper. Celtics looking to respond. This was the story of the game. Ooh. Fireman having himself a good night. 6 threes.
He has had himself a year.
Truly. Unsung hero. Speaking of heroics, Josh Hart. Down to the wire here. Final minutes.
See, and you notice that lefty pass from Brunson? Because he's left-handed.
Exactly. What a lucky dude. The Southpaws are something special. Here's Hart.
I mean, they're daring him to beat them, and he did.
Yep. That's it. Hart scored 15 points in the 4th quarter alone, finished with 26 on the night. Huge night for him. Even bigger one for the Knicks as they take the victory 112 to 106, and Madison Square Garden erupts. What a night. Yes, give him the cape. Let's go ahead.
You've always talked about how when teams are going to leave you open, you have to make them pay. Is this something you've just been working on all season?
Yeah, Joe and Pete, I've been working with them shooting every day. The first half I was ass. So I had, the second half I knew I had to bring it.
To Josh's credit, Boston, their game plan was to let him shoot, and he stepped up and and he knocked down big shots. If they leave any of our guys open, we want our guys to let that thing fly, and Josh did tonight, knocking down big shots.
The Knicks won their 52nd game of the season, their most in the Jalen Brunson era, and most since winning 54 back in 2012-2013. Right, we've got Kendrick Perkins, Ramona Shelbourne here with us. I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz in for Malika. Hey, Perk, do you agree with Mike Brown that the Knicks are heading in the right direction for the postseason?
Hey, MJ, Ramona, listen. I know at times I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm always a butter knife in the drawer, okay? And I will say this. They are finally listening. They get it. Something I've been asking from the Knicks all season long. And guess what? Listen to what Jalen Brunson had to say.
Do you know why it took so long to start running that more often?
No.
Do you think it's an effective play that maybe should have been utilized a little bit earlier?
Very effective play.
Good talk.
That's all I've been asking for all season long is the 2-man game between Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. And last night we saw a prime example of it, especially late in the 4th. And here's the luxury, right, of having a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, because you never know what he's going to do. He set a hell of a screen. Derek White probably was looking for him to pop. All of a sudden he rolls to the basket, perfect pocket pass from Jalen Brunson. Now, same action. All right, he goes under. One of the best shooting bigs to ever play the game of basketball. Jalen Brunson delivers a dime on time, on target, and now they're finding their chemistry. And when you think about the last 2 games, they rank first. They rank first when you look at the 2-man action. So they're finding the recipe and they're trending in the right direction. And if they're trying to get to where we know they're trying to go, it's going to have to be with the chemistry of those 2 guys offensively, and especially late in the 4th with that 2-man action.
Look, they've always had this, right? They've always had that two-man game. It's just a question of whether other teams take it away from them, and then do the Knicks have a counter? And I think they had it so well at the beginning of last season, then teams started adjusting. They threw a different defense at them. The Knicks had no counter, part of the reason why Tom Thibodeau is no longer the head coach of the Knicks. And I think it's taken until now for them to rediscover this. Now it's a matter of how do teams adjust to this afterwards. But because they haven't been running this as much as you've been calling for Perkins, pretty much everyone in New York has been saying, run the two-man game. Carl Towns has had to find other ways to score. He's had to find those garbage man points, right? And I think that's actually going to be good for the Knicks in the long run, because it does give them a different look and a different way to score than just that two-man game. Because in the playoffs, in a 7-game series, especially with Boston, like Jalen Brown didn't play last night. They know they're going to play each other in the playoffs. They're holding something back. Yeah. Okay, these two teams have studied each other. They know each other.
The bigger strategy, it always comes down to that, no question. On the other side, it was an emotional night for Jason Tatum, returning to New York 11 months after tearing his Achilles in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semis. After the game, Tatum spoke on getting over the mental hurdle of being back at MSG.
It was a big moment, big hurdle for me. You know, I was nervous and anxious to come back here. You know, obviously I wanted to win and play great, but more importantly, I just kind of wanted to walk off the court, you know, on my own 2 feet.
Yeah, Tatum logged 39 minutes, 45 seconds against the Knicks, his most regular season minutes in nearly a year. The last time he had more time against this squad was on April 8th of 2025. And yes, it was at Madison Square Garden. So, Perk, now that we've seen Tatum really stretch himself out in that arena, what's your biggest question left for the Celtics heading into the last week of the regular season?
It's not one. I think Jason Tatum has answered my question, and that's, can he be a Robin to Jalen Brown? And the answer is yes. That's what he's going to be. Is he going to have moments where he's going to look like Batman throughout the course of the postseason? Absolutely. But he's all in. And what shows me that he's all in is because he's had 10 games with a double-double. He's been a monster on the glass. He's dishing out the rock. And what showed me the week that the last week when they played the Hornets, Jalen Brown was out. Jason Tatum went for 32. When Jalen Brown came back, I believe 2 or 3 days, two or three days later, Jalen Brown erupted for 40 plus, and JT went back to that Robin role. So he's just an acceptance of it. That's all that you need if you're Coach Mazzulla.
You know, I was talking to Jason Tatum last week when they were down in Miami, and one of the things I picked up is he's grateful to Jalen Brown for being as good of a leader to this team, for keeping the Celtics in it, because now that Jason Tatum is back, this matters now. Like, he could get back this season and the Celtics would be in the play-in. But Jalen Brown is a top 5 MVP candidate this year, and he's led this team. They've followed him. And I think Jason Tatum's done a good job of just fitting in where they need him. As Perk mentioned, he's been great on the boards. He's always been a great rebounder, but he's led them in rebounding since he's come back. I mean, that's, to me, fitting in. And I think it's going to be interesting when we get to the playoffs, and that pecking order comes into play as teams try to force one guy, or they clamp down on Jalen Brown and they say, okay, Jason beat us. In the past, it's been Jason Tatum being that guy who gets the last shot. Let's see what happens when we get in a 7-game series, and does that same pecking order that's been the case all season long, does that hold?
The pecking order is very important, but don't forget guys like Pritchard and Derek White and Shireman and all these guys who have really stepped up. Great point by you. All right, let's pivot over to some breaking news in the W. I don't know if